We were presented today in the Gospel with the opening of the Gospel of St. Luke, the very first chapter. And as you know, today St. Luke presents the first characters, the story of Zacharias and his wife Elizabeth. But as soon as he introduces these characters, he introduces them with a tension, with a problem. And it's a very clear tension that St. Luke is introducing as he opens the Gospel. He says, "There was in the days of Herod the king of Judea a certain priest named Zacharias of the division of Abijah. His wife was the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless." So he presents these two characters, amazing characters. They were righteous, he was a priest, they were blameless before God. But there's a problem. But they had no child. Elizabeth was barren, and they were both well advanced in years. And this is a real problem. Because as we would expect, they would have expected living a righteous and blameless life would result in blessing, especially of public people like Zacharias, who was a priest. It would have been a real point of hurt for them. And so the gospel, the whole gospel, begins with this tension. And this same tension is lived out in many of our lives. We carry in our lives very similar questions. I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing everything I can do. I'm praying. I'm coming to church. I'm trying to be a good person. Why does this problem exist in my life? I've asked God something, but nothing has happened. I'm praying, but I don't feel anything. I'm trying my best to conquer sin, but it's just not happening. As tension in our life. Then you begin to see St. Luke releasing this tension, this problem that exists in the life of Zacharias and his wife Elizabeth. So it was that while he was serving as priest before God in the order of his division, according to the custom of the priesthood, his lot fell to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Lord. And the whole multitude of the people were praying outside at the hour of incense. The angel of the Lord appeared to him, standing on the right side of the altar of incense. And then he receives the news that his wife Elizabeth will have a son. But I want to explore with you the context in which this tension becomes released. The first is that Zacharias, it was his turn to be in the altar. It was his turn to burn incense in the altar. He had the opportunity to present himself to God and to be in the altar at that particular moment. So the first clue that we receive is that the tension is released when we stand before God. Abuna Dawood Lamai was giving some lectures to priests. And he was saying to them, do you know why God chose you to be a priest? And I'm not sure what they all thought. But he said, I'll tell you why God chose you to be a priest. Because of your own salvation. So that you can stand before God at the altar. Not because I'm here to serve, or I'm here to save people, or I'm here. He chose you so that you can be in front of God in the altar. Zacharias, the first thing that released his problem was that he stood before God in the altar. And who is behind him? And the people, the whole multitude of the people were praying outside at the hour of incense. Resolution came when not only Zacharias was standing in front of God at the altar, when the whole multitude of the people were standing with him in prayer.